Chat is not supported for TikTok. Okay, and of course, it wants to be a little. Let me go over here, go here, and go monitor my live stream because TikTok doesn't want to go. And I need to pull up YouTube. Bear with me, folks. Because I need to go monitor my streams. 1 second. To my content. Go to my live. Go to my live control room. And there we go. There's YouTube. Lone Rebel says on YouTube, "What's up, Ryder? How's your day been going, my friend?" And Claude says, "Yo, hi, I am fine. Glad you are here. I am still setting this up because everything wants to not want to work all of a sudden. So we're gonna get into it as soon as I can pull up my other stuff." And this is a let me go advertise on X real quick. Let me copy the link. Go here, X. Go here, go here, go here. Okay. There we go. Here we go. Alright. There we go. Post that. Send that. And let's go. Alright. So let us go ahead. Get started. This is kind of impromptu. Kind of not impromptu. I'm just doing those two. So, welcome. My name is Ryder Maven. I am the host of the WrestleMania podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day. You know the rest. This is a save point, which means I am playing Star Ocean 2 because I got a little tired of Breath of Fire 4 because it had so many minute games and it was just frustrating me and I was getting stuck. So, we're going to continue with Star Ocean 2. We're also going to be talking about on this save point. Wrestling, we're going to be talking Monday Night Raw preview. We're going to be talking about Dom still not having a feud of his own. Dom and Liv discourse on social media. Did the WWE spoil the results of Monday Night Raw's women's tag team title match? and what I hope to see what happens on Monday Night Raw. Um, but the big question today is this. Is the WWE actually building Finn Balor versus Dominik Mysterio? Or are we just trying to force a feud because we want it to happen? Now, you know me, I believe from the beginning since last year that this feud should be Dom and Finn's feud. But unfortunately, we got an interloper named Liv Morgan in this when it shouldn't happen. And like I said, if the reverse was true and but Dom was taking over Liv's feud with Raquel Rodriguez, we would not be hearing the end of it. But we thought we was getting some sort of a reboot last week because Finn attacked JD before Dom could come out, and I was kind of happy for that because maybe towards the end of this match, maybe we would get something, but we didn't. We didn't get any follow up from Finn. It was just like Finn taking out JD because he's a demented demon, and Dom wins his match, and that was it. So we did not get a lot from that Finn and Dom interaction like we hoped we would get. And Chubby Boy, I'm glad you made it, Chubby Boy. I see Seniors on here too. I'm glad you all made it on TikTok. But we are not getting the feud that we thought we would. Um, we want it to be there. There's pieces around it. Like I said, we had Finn still causing problems with the Judgment Day, but this feels more for Finn causing problems for Judgment Day as a whole and not focusing in on Dom. Because if Dom is supposed to be moving into a major feud, the WWE needs to actually give him one. Like we always can seem like we know that there's probably going to be a feud with Dom and Ray in the future, but they're holding off on every other feud for Dom prior to that, and it shouldn't be like that. We could be having those good feuds. We could be having those good feuds with El Grande Americano, and we could be having those feuds with Finn, and we could be having something on the main roster. Like Dragon Lee and Dom have a fight forever feel, and we could be having a nice generational feud there. I know Dragon Lee is injured right now, but we could be having a generational feud with Dragon Lee, and we're not getting anything for Dom. It's just like he'll get it a little bit, get his momentum going, and then it tapers off. We don't need Finn. If it's going to be Dom and Finn, we don't need Finn just being messy around him. It needs to be something that pulls Dom and Finn together where they can start feuding it out, battling it out. Like I said, I thought that was going to happen on Monday, but we didn't get anything. We didn't get Finn attacking Dom after the match. We didn't get Dom attacking Finn after the match. We didn't get them even brawling. Like, where happened to just a regular Dom and Finn feud? Or a good brawl? Like, where nobody's really the winner. We could just be having them brawl it out. But we don't get that. So, anywho, I say all that to say this. We're going to be touching back on the demented demon name known as Finn Balor and Dom, but we're going to also be getting into what I missed from Monday Night Raw because I did miss this and I did discuss this on my review this past Monday Night Raw. Why Liv Morgan is starting to mirror Rhea Ripley, and I have been saying this for a couple of times now, but we got evidence this past Monday Night Raw. Um, why this still isn't Finn versus Dom. The online discourse versus Liv and Dom, and what Dom being quiet on social media could mean because he has been quiet. He's been posting to the stories on Instagram, but we don't get a lot of his posts on the X or just straight up Instagram anymore. How the WWE might have accidentally spoiled the women's tag team title match result on Monday Night Raw, or this could be intentional or not, but we could possibly already know the outcome of that match already. And what I hope happens on Monday Night Raw. And what Raw needs to do and to approve before I buy this new direction with Dom and Finn. So let's go and get into it. And I'm going to do a temp check over here. On YouTube, Lone Rebel says, I feel Liv's gonna get kicked out of Judgment Day because we all know that Liv is making the Judgment Day about her and no one else. Which when Finn got kicked, JD, Liv didn't attack Finn from behind. See, that's the point that that I keep pointing out, and a lot of other commenters on me that on my channel have pointed out. Gwendolyn and Khalib, they do point out a lot of stuff for me, and I thank them for that because they help me find a lot of the things that I miss. But they have pointed out things that you would think would be happening. Like Liv not attacking Finn is a straight up red flag because, like, why wouldn't you do it? Like you said, you plotted to get Finn out of the Judgment Day, so why aren't you attacking? It's like 2 weeks ago, you had a hammer. Raquel was telling you to attack Finn with the hammer, but what did you do? You passed it to Roxanne, and Roxanne took out Finn with the hammer. Now, I know people are going to say, well, Liv was just testing Roxanne. If she was going to text Roxanne, why was she surprised that Roxanne was out there? Why was Dom not surprised that Roxanne was out there at ringside? If you wanted to do a test, then Liv, Liv would have been a surprise, and she would have said something about the test. Like after that match with JD and Finn, I would expect Liv to say or at least mention, "Oh, hey, I was just testing you. We didn't get that, so it wasn't a test." So why is she always passing on attacking Finn? It's glaring at this point. We've gotten this 2 times. In both Finn and JD's promos, where JD had a video promo about Finn, and Finn had a video promo against JD. They both posted in the same video package that that moment where Liv is standing behind Finn before he sets up for the coup de grace, not the coup de grace, like, before the kick into the corner. Like, he was lining up to kick Dom into the corner. They both, in that video package, posted that same moment where Liv is just standing there, not doing anything. And like I said, if you're a ride or die, if you're Bonnie to Dom's Clyde, why aren't you attacking Finn like that? And I don't want to hear, well, she wasn't booked like that. Yeah, if she wasn't booked like that, then that's glaring. Because still, if you're ride or die, then why aren't you putting forward the effort to attack Finn? Like, I swear, if you had Roxanne in that same position, if you put Roxanne in that same position, like she proved with the hammer 2 weeks ago, if you put Roxanne in that same position, she would have been lowballing Finn. You know that she would have been scratching his eyes out. She would be doing something. But with Liv, she's just standing there. She's had all these moments, all this time to do something with Finn, and she hasn't. And it's just glaring at this point. One time, okay, maybe, she wasn't really scripted to do that. But it's still odd. But then now, it's like, you have a hammer that Dom gave you. Dom didn't give Roxanne that hammer to hit Finn with. It was Liv that he gave that hammer to. You see what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, if Dom wanted to test Roxanne, Dom would have been giving Roxanne the hammer straight up. He didn't do that. He gave that to Liv. So why is Liv passing on the hammer that her boyfriend uses to Roxanne to use? Why is Raquel yelling at Liv to use the hammer? It's that bit. So you see what I mean? It's like things like that are not adding up when it comes to Liv. I'm going to go back to the title menu on this real quick. Because I got the sound down, so it's not going to hurt. Ow. What the heck? Ouch. What's going on here? Oh, there. Okay, we're just going to go back to the menu so you're not looking at a debug screen. Okay. So that's that whole argument with with Liv when it released the fan. I have to shout out Gwen on that. I have to shout out Khalib on that because they have been pointing out a lot of stuff that I have been missing, and not really necessarily missing. I just haven't been bringing it up. And like I said, I don't bring up every single clue, but they have been bringing up clues for that, and I have to shout them out. Um, Lone Rebel says Roxanne and Raquel win the tag titles. I could see Stephanie coming out after the match, but having Roxanne and Raquel attack Liv from behind and having Stephanie take Liv's JD spot in a double time. I don't think Stephanie needs to join Judgment Day. One thing, I don't want Stephanie to join Judgment Day because she's already hit Dom. Like, I'm tired of people hitting Dom, women wise, and I don't want that. Like, Raquel has already kind of done that with Dom too, but they've kind of like, that's kind of water under the bridge right now. But I just don't want that to be in Judgment Day when Dom keeps getting hit by women. Like, you notice that Roxanne hasn't hit him. And I'm not saying that as a justification for Dom Rox. I'm just saying, like, I don't need to keep seeing women hit Dom. Like, we've had that with Rhea. We had that with Liv slapping Dom. We've had that with Stephanie hitting Dom. Like, I don't need that. If you're going to have women in Dom's proximity, it needs to be somebody that's not hitting Dom. Like, Raquel, I can take, because I think if Raquel takes Dom's side, that pretty much means that it's water under the bridge. She's not, she has actually has a even more reason to hate on Dom than a lot of these other women. You know, like, she actually prevented her from getting a title. So if she chooses Dom, then I can accept that because she hasn't hit him. She, you know, she's protected him, and you know, we've had that, um, that whole gap of time between Raquel hitting Dom till joining Judgment Day. You see what I mean? It's not like it's happened in the recent past with Raquel, if you get what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, I just don't see Stephanie. Stephanie could be a face. You could do something with Stephanie. Stephanie could go into another feud with somebody else. I don't know who. I still say Raquel made Stephanie a lot more interesting than she was, because until Stephanie started beating her ass, then that's when Stephanie got interesting. So it is what it is. Gwendolyn in Speak of the Devil. Here's Gwendolyn on YouTube. I feel like tomorrow something strange is going to happen. I feel Liv is either going to accidentally cost Roxanne and Raquel, or Finn is going to distract Liv, leading to more tension. I'm going to get into that because there are so many different possibilities on what can happen in that tag match. And even though I think they did spoil what can happen in that tag match on SmackDown, I do think that there's just so many different ways that that tag match can go. And I'll get into that too. Before I go back to YouTube, I'm going to go back over here to TikTok because I am just going to hear. Senor says Dom didn't post anything to IG since WrestleMania. Yeah, he's been posting to his stories, and like today he posted a story about like his Topps card, and I took a screenshot of that. So that's like the only movement social media wise Dom has been doing has been to his stories, which doesn't stay. But he hasn't posted anything to Instagram, and anything on the X is few and far between. Like yesterday, Liv was posting like Triple H's post about Dom defending the Megas Championship. There's no repost from Dom on that, and that is something that actually mentions Dom. Like he's not responding at all. He is super quiet, and it's just so weird. And I want to hear it. Well, he's so busy. Nah, man, it's just that's just way too quiet. I can see you not posting to everything, and like I said, even when Dom was in that mode of like reposting everything of Liv's, like even with that, you would expect more activity from Dom. I don't expect Dom to post things like immediately like he was doing, but I expect him to post a lot more than he has been, and he hasn't done that. So it's just weird. I'm gonna get into that too because I do think they're changing some things up with Dom's presentation when it social media. Senor also says on TikTok, Finn trolled JD the whole week with the same meme. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think this is more of Dom's feud anymore. It feels like this is going to be Finn and JD instead of Finn versus Dom. Because why is Finn trolling JD all this time and not mentioning Dom? You see what I mean? Like, he's not even on all of Finn's social media. Finn hasn't mentioned Dom at all, or I don't really remember him doing it all that long. Like, he did like a little taunt on Raw, but all the social media has just been Finn posting bobblehead memes, and that's JD. That's not Dom. But I'm gonna get into that too. Um, let's see. Come on, you good thing. Okay, Lone Rebel says on YouTube, I would rather save a double turn for a big event like Clash in Italy because a double turn on a Raw wouldn't make sense and it wouldn't be more impactful. Which they did with Carmella and Nikki 2016. Well, they don't have to do a double turn, and I do think that might be coming soon, and I do think that needs to happen like at a PLE, but they need to be doing more. They need to be advancing the story for it. Like this Monday, we need significant storyline advancement. Like we've gone through this with Judgment Day where they just dragged everything to the mud and slowly doing it, and I know that's a Triple H thing, but right now with Judgment Day, we need that advancement in the storyline. Like, what is Liv doing? What is Roxanne doing? What is Dom doing? Finn, Raquel, like we can't just keep having Raquel looking at the title and still remembering that Liv eliminated her from the Royal Rumble. We still can't have like Roxanne rolling her eyes at Liv because she still does that. She's and then she does look at Dom when she does it too. So you see things like behind the back of Liv here. You got Liv mentioning family, and No More Secrets, which is like a ticking time bomb because if y'all looked at my recent video regarding what I think the secret could be and how it gets exposed, go check that out on YouTube. Um, you can see, um, you know, where I break that down, and then that's the other video of like Dom and Roxanne's history. Um, but you can see, that secrets line from Liv is a ticking time bomb. Because why would you mention that? If she says no more secrets, you know there's a secret that is going to land some way. If it's not going to be in Italy, it might be Paris. Clash in Paris. Because at this particular moment, I'm not sure if we can get to SummerSlam just holding all that out. Now, if they start building it out, that's one thing. Like, if they start, like, starting Monday, tomorrow, they start building and building and building and building and building. Like, it goes past Clash in Italy, it goes past Clash in Paris, which is on Monday Night Raw. Like, if it starts building that way, then, okay, maybe they're doing something for SummerSlam. But at this point, it just feels like something needs to give. But we need that advancement. Lone Rebel also says, but you wouldn't want Dom to hit a woman because if Ray ends up seeing Dom hit Liv or Dom's sister Aaliyah, you know that Ray would be on family member's side as well as Liv's side. Yeah, Ray was on some bullshit. Do you remember when Ray was pretty much intimating that Rhea was better for Dom than Liv? And this is the woman that beat Dom's ass and took Dom away from Ray. Like he was on some bullshit that day. I'm like, Ray, like Oscar, like full name Oscar. I was cussing him out. Like I was like, sir, Rhea, that's that whole rewriting Rhea's history, and I gotta digress on that because that's a whole nother rant that I've talked about last year or 2 years ago. But it was just like, Oscar, what the hell? What are you doing? Like, how are you going to sit up here and say that Rhea Ripley was better for Dom than Liv? Now, at this point, he might be. I'm not going to say that he's right on that, but maybe he was on something with Liv. But, like, at that moment, when everything was okay, how you going to sit up here and say that Rhea was better than Liv? Now, at the present time, maybe he knew something. But back then, like, how can you say that? So, Ray was on something. Oscar was on something that way. I called him his full legal name on when he said that. Um, and you're right. Like, what I don't like with Dom when it comes to women and women hitting him is that he doesn't get his lick back. AEW is a lot further along in this regard, and this is what I actually like about AEW. Because when Marina Shafir was starting shit and she kept getting involved, she eventually got her lick back. Like Hangman Adam Page, the drunk cowboy, like in the lead into All in Texas. Like when Marina Shafir was like doing shit, and then she really thought that she wouldn't get hit by Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page said "fuck that" and gave her a buckshot lariat. It was glorious. Like she had been stirred apart. She had been doing that shit. She had been attacking guys, but Heyman was like, nah, brah, and just took her out. That's what you expect to eventually happen with that. Like with Rhea, she should have been getting her lick back. If it ain't going to be from Dom, it could have been someone. Now, I think it's gross that they wanted like Randy Orton to like RKO her and punt her like Rhea, because I think that was going too far. But Rhea should have been getting like the lick back from Dom at least, like hit her. But they don't do that for Dom. They don't let Dom get that lick back. Like, why is it that Dom has to take the hits from Rhea, Dom has to take the hits from Stephanie, Dom has to take a slap from Liv, but he can't do anything in that position? And then you don't have a woman. See, and another thing with that, usually you don't have a woman like standing up for Dom. Like they wanted to say like Liv was standing up for Dom when Stephanie like attacked him that one time, but that's like, nah, that's just her attacking Stephanie. That wasn't sticking up for Dom. Like you don't usually have another woman positioned around Dom to help him out in that regard, and that's just really annoying. That's really annoying when it comes to Dom. Like he's like an exception to that for some reason. Like why isn't it like, when Becky was going after CM Punk, and then they brought back AJ Lee, like that was somebody that neutralized Becky. Like CM Punk took all the slaps, but AJ Lee finally got in there to neutralize Becky. But we don't get anything like that for Dom. And it's just really, really annoying, and it's just really, really frustrating because you could be doing more for Dom in that regard. Okay, heading back to TikTok, Jacob says, other than TJ State does what they said, what do you expect on Raw tomorrow? I don't know, Jacob. I don't really cover rest of the Raw because it's boring. Like, they keep advertising Roman Reigns. Like, I don't care about him getting his ass beat by Jacob Fatu. Like, people talk about Judgment Day stuff being boring. Like, at this point, Bloodline shit is boring because it's just rinse and repeat. At least there's some moving pieces in the Judgment Day story where if it hits right, you get something new. Bloodline is Bloodline. On Jacob says, do you think the double turn might happen on Liv's birthday? I don't know. Like, at this point, I just want storyline advancement. Like, storyline advancement is what we need. And Taji says on TikTok, I think the writing's on the wall regarding the relationship of Liv Dom. Yeah, like somebody was really trying to tell me on like I'm not gonna lie. Well, there hasn't been any clues. I'm like, yeah, there has been. Like you had to be physically reminded that Liv and Dom are a couple because if Liv wasn't draped all over Dom in the clubhouse segment, you wouldn't think that they were a couple. Have they done anything coupley in these last couple of months? Valentine's Day was the only thing, but it was just more like stuff for Liv. Did you feel like it was a couple? This was just more like a presenting Liv as this Royal Rumble winner, and you had Raquel looking miserable, having to stand there as a lackey, and you had Dom looking miserable there at times too. Like he wasn't looking all that happy being out there. And then you got Liv setting up matches for Dom where Dom gets pulled into a match he doesn't want to do, which is like Rhea. Like, there are clues. There have been breadcrumbs. Like, it's like 2 weeks ago. If Liv had came out when JD was coming out during the international feed, you would know that Liv was out there for Dom, and they're a couple. Like, it was more like her marking her territory, and during that whole match. So yeah, there have been clues. Senora says, I feel like they teased a final match between Finn and JD instead of a second match with Dom. Yeah, that's what I feel. Like, it feels like this is going to be more of a Finn and JD match, which I get because JD turned on his mentor, but then you got Dom right there who's not doing anything. Like, what are we doing here? You could have Finn feud with Dom and JD. It's just two different feuds. You got Dom turning on his stepdaddy, and then JD turning on his mentor. You can run it both ways. Anywho, back to YouTube because y'all are giving me some fire comments here. Um, Gwendolyn says, "Yeah, I don't like Dom being this quiet as a Liv fan since 2000." Okay, yeah, I don't like Dom being this quiet as a Liv fan since 2015. This is absolutely not his character at all, and I don't like it. Yeah, it's just too quiet. It's too quiet. I don't know what it is. Like, I do think they're doing a character reset, and I'm going to get into that, but it's too quiet. Like, I would think he would be doing more commenting, like comment on Finn, or maybe hyping up Roxanne and Raquel a little bit. Doing something else, hyping up JD. Like, I would think he'd be doing that, but he's just way too quiet. Um, Ooh, 850 Big Boy says, what's good, everybody? Hey, 850, nice to see you here. YouTube says, Tori on YouTube said, give the storyline a bit more time, it's coming. Look, we have given the Judgment Day story all the time in the world. This thing has stalled for 2 years. The Finn and Dom thing has been percolating for 2 years. So, at this point, how much more time do you need? Nothing? What? Don't turn it up. I'll do it. Okay. Don't turn it up. So, we've had a lot of time. Like, at this moment, it just needs to get going. We just need to get to the second iteration of Judgment Day. Like, if we can get past the hump for Judgment Day, then, and get everything moving where it needs to move, then we can at least get that going. But I am not a fan of telling people to be patient with this storyline. You know me. Not everybody can afford to be patient with the story. What? What is that? Oh, keys. Thank you. Senor says, for me, Liv Dom ended after last year's Money in the Bank. To me, well, I feel you on that, because I think the last good iteration of Liv Dom was Money in the Bank. But Liv Dom really ended for me was the Monday after Survivor Series when Liv slapped Dom. Like, I was out at that moment. Like, I had enough at that moment, but when she slapped him, I was like, I'm done. Then I got really done when Dom's return was all about her from injury, was all about Liv and announcing her as a Royal Rumble winner. Then I was doubly done, then triply done when Dom was just removed from the storyline with Finn. Like, I was done. I was out. Like, I cannot support Liv Dom. Like, if it was cute, if they would still have something going, they were doing some Bunny and Clyde stuff, then I could like, okay, this is cute. I could kind of work with that. Nah, not right now. On YouTube, Gwendolyn says, I've given attention with with this tension with since December of last year. I'm over it. LOL. I want advancement ASAP and Liv and allying with Liv. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We just want advancement. Like, we just want the advancement of the storyline. It's stalled. That's the thing. Like, we don't, if it's not going to be a turn, if it's not going to be a double turn, if it's not somebody turning on somebody, those are big points, but you just need the advancement. Like, 2024, we had weekly advancement. Not everything moves like significantly, but we got something. We're not getting that right now. I have talked way too much, and I need to gain a little bit. So let me play a little bit, and then I'll go into what I missed from Monday Night Raw, and go from there. And let me turn up the music because this thing is loud, and I don't feel it. Do, 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 do. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's go into this. Let's go close the door before we get let's bruh. Okay, so why are you not going? Okay. Yeah, why not? Ah, the lag. I need to just retune my whole computer. Okay, so let me just do something real quick. Okay, while I wait for something to load up, it says here, um, um, Lone Rebel said also, I feel like someone has to get betrayed, because which I feel Liv turning face makes more sense than a Roxanne and Raquel because Roxanne and Liv can play both heel and face real well, but a Raquel heel. Well, they haven't given Raquel the build for a face turn, and I don't even think they've given Roxanne the build for a face turn. You could even say that you could feel sorry for Roxanne being like bullied by Liv a little bit, but it's not really something that builds Roxanne to be a face. Did she get cheered in Laredo? Yeah, but that's her hometown. The same thing with Raquel in Texas. Like, you get cheered in your hometowns. Like, I wouldn't, you would expect them to get cheered. But the following weeks, like, you're not getting that, um, you're not getting like that pop for Roxanne like you would expect to be a face. Like I said, it's like it's nothing being built that gives uh that gives Roxanne that face turn. Liv has gotten the face that's getting the build because you see like everything being set up against her. Like she's getting like into this position where she'll get reach the tippy top and then come crashing down. And that's how you can build a face turn because she's gonna have to hit rock bottom and turn on, when she gets turned on, and then she can start this revenge tour 2.0. See, that's what I was saying. Like, her revenge tour 2.0, that t-shirt that she's been having, like, it needs weight for that in order to happen. What Roxanne has done to her, what Raquel has done to her, hasn't compared to make a revenge tour 2.0. But you know what would cause a revenge tour 2.0? Dom betraying her, Roxanne betraying her, Raquel betraying her. Like, all of them. That gives it enough weight. Alright. Let's go. Hey man, close the door, bruh. Uh, Gwendolyn says, yeah, I also see Liv going babyface because, two big reasons, her new music is now suddenly gone, and that is her natural authentic role. Finn's just going to gravitate toward her. She's like a magnet. Fans are going to gravitate to her. She's like a magnet to them. Like, she's not getting booed. Like, at this point, like I said, she's just been dragging everybody else down because Dom can generate his own boos. But Liv is like it's shorting up everybody. Like, how can you go like for the fully healed stable and you got Liv here, like where nobody wants to boo? Now there he is.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Kenny.
Oh, Raina, are you done?
I said yes. What the heck? Okay. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Raina, I wasn't expecting you two to be back so early. Just in time, though. I was just finishing up everything.
Finishing up? What?
And it's a huge spread.
Mom, what's all this food here for?
Doesn't it look delicious? I put all of my best recipes out on the table for you.
That's not what I mean.
What? Did I do something wrong? I just thought I'd thank Mr. Kenny with a nice meal.
I understand that, but isn't this a little much?
Is it? He's pretty young, so I figured he'd have a big appetite. You are hungry, aren't you, Mr. Kenny?
Actually, I am, yeah.
See, a real man could put all this away, no problem. So eat as much as you like, all right?
Thanks.
Oh, Mom.
uh, let's see. Lone, Lone Rebel says, which I love how Brie Bella said that Roxanne shouldn't trust the Judgment Day like we all know when Nikki returns it will be Brie and Paige. Lose the titles, the Bellas will betray Paige most likely. I mean, yeah.
Oh,
There's also
thank you so
something
much
to
for
be
the meal,
said
but
that
I
something
just can't
negative is
eat
being
anymore.
attributed to Judgment Day with Liv, but I might get into that later.
Are you okay? You didn't have to force it all down, you know.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I've got a cast iron stomach.
Alright, let's close the door behind you because
I'm sorry my mother made so much.
It was all delicious, though. My mother would never be able to do something like that.
Thanks for the compliment. I'm glad you're happy. I'm gonna go downstairs and help my mother clean up. Feel free to rest up here for a bit, alright?
Sure, that sounds good.
How is he, Raina?
Stuffed. He said he couldn't eat anymore, so I had him rest upstairs for a bit.
Is that right? In that case, now would be a good time to tell the mayor. It's dark out, so be careful, Raina.
Okay, I'll go get him.
Alright, so let me go over here and save, and then I'm going to talk about what I missed on their Raw, because I have been chattering. So let me go back over here to save point. Okay, you're not giving me a save point? Really? Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to save it right here. So one thing I appreciate this is that it does use some hints. So let me just turn down the music. So, all right. So let me go back here. Yep. All right. I'll put you back on the character screen. There we go. Can't get you. Okay. So I'm neglecting my TikTok. So let's see. TikTok says, I heard Stephanie is coming tomorrow. What's your take on it? I mean, she can. I mean, if she comes back, that kind of spoils what happens on the Raw. Khalif said, did you notice when Finn got betrayed, Liv did not have her daddy Dom choker on? I've noticed that she's been strategically taking that choker on and off. Like when she was talking to Roxanne, she had it off. So I'm wondering if that's something else too, like signaling something. Khalif says, Liv says she can't wait to perform her song Trouble at SummerSlam. Please don't. I'm sorry, that song is just auto-tuned to hell. I don't know what that is. Def Rebel, they just need to get, I don't know what it is. Like CFO it's just a lot better. And of course Jim Johnson back in the day was a lot better, but whatever this is going is just trash. Jacob says, what is your thoughts on MJF putting his hair on the line against Darby? I don't care. Like, I really don't care for MJF. I think he tries too hard, so... And I think Darby Allin has a death wish, because he's trying to kill himself every day, so... I don't know. Okay. A Lone Rebel says, the reason why I say Bellas are going to betray Paige because we all know every time that someone outshines both Brie Bellas, they betray that person, and Brie is taking the betrayal. She ain't that slick. Yeah, I mean, that's par for the course with the Bella twins. So, let's talk about what I missed on Raw. So one thing that I did not fully sit with at first for Monday Night Raw is how much Liv talking for Dom mattered. because Liv did not just speak up, she spoke for Dom. And by doing that, she helped get him forced into a mega championship defense that he clearly did not want. Like, if you go back and watch the promo, you can see him roll his eyes. And I think I put it on my Not Gonna Lie, the picture of him just kind of like, ugh. Like, you could tell that he did not want to do it. Um, and he did not want that offense, and that should sound familiar because that's something Rhea used to do. If you remember in 2023, going into 2024, Rhea would force Dom into all these matches all the time. Oh, sometimes it would work out for him, sometimes it wouldn't. He would just be like, "Oh, Dom, you're gonna have this match," and he's like, "What?" Like, that's something Rhea used to do to Dom all the time, and I completely missed that. I knew that Liv was forcing Dom into the match, but it didn't really click to me. Like, oh wait, this is what Rhea used to do, and I have been mentioning that Liv has just been acting like a Rhea, and to me, at this point, she's more like a more annoying version of Rhea Ripley, because she's forcing Dom into this match. And also notice that when Liv was talking with Scrap Daddy Adam Pierce and Dom was forced into this match, you didn't, she kept smiling about it. Like, are you that happy that Don got forced into this match and then you wouldn't even come out for his match later on in the night? Like, why were you smiling? And I take a lot of screenshots. Like, in all the screenshots that I took of Monday Night Raw during that particular segment, I did not see, like, any kind of picture where she's just, like, upset about Adam Pierce putting Dom into the match. She was smiling in all of my screenshots. So why are you that happy about it? Like, this is like another one of these like punishments. Like, she knows Dom did something, and she's like she's doing all this. Like, is it gonna be like Monday? Like, she's gonna be forcing him into another match? Did she just open a door where Dom is now forced to defend the Mega Championship on Raw now more regularly? You see what I mean? And again, that's something that Rhea used to do. But we also have the additional layer of maybe there's something else going on here where she's like sticking it to Dom. Because like I said, maybe she does know something went on. Maybe she doesn't know what exactly. Maybe that's what the secret is going to be. Like, it gets fully exposed. But maybe she doesn't know what. Maybe she got a hint from Raquel, because Raquel, remember, did call Dom a habitual cheater, and no, she was not just talking about matches, because everybody knows Judgment Day cheats. That's not nothing new. Like, why would you call Dom a habitual cheater when everybody cheats in Judgment Day and then make it about matches? So we gotta remember what Raquel said about Dom last year. So I'm wondering, and you gotta remember that slap thing too, that second slap. The first slap I can excuse somewhat. The second slap I can't. So what is it? Like, something's there. Like I said, like I was saying, like earlier this year, last year, like, I think there's an undercurrent of something that they haven't fully revealed yet, and it's probably going to be coming out sooner rather than later. Like I said, Rhea would put Dom into situations. Rhea would set up matches for Dom. Rhea would make decisions for Dom that Dom was clearly not comfortable with. And now Liv is doing a version of the exact same thing. So this is not Liv being some magical opposite of Rhea and Dom's story. It's like Dom exchanged one leash for another. Looks like now, at least at this point. It's just Liv has become another version of the same problem. Dom is still the person another person makes decisions around. And that's why the issue isn't just whether Dom wins or loses. The bigger issue is agency. Who gets to move the story? Who gets to make the choices? Who gets to decide what happens next? Because right now, Dom is a champion, but he does not feel like a person controlling his own title reign. Like, all the attention right now is between El Grande Americano and El Grande Americano Original, especially in AAA. Like, Dom is going to be the one that's going to face El Grande Americano, because he did win the Rey de Reyes, and he's not, like, in the feud anywhere or around it. You would think he would be around it in AAA, but he's not. And that's a problem. Not because Dom needs to be booked like a superhero, but not because he should be unbeatable, but because if he's going to be holding the Mega Championship, and if the story is going to supposed to be about him growing, changing, stepping up into a bigger role by going into the main event, like people think he's supposed to be going into the main event, then he needs to be doing more than having it being someone that the character talk over and Liv talking for him matters. Like we know Dom can talk his way into trouble. That's what really irritated me on Monday because if you wanted Dom to talk himself into having to defend um the Mega Championship, why couldn't Dom just talk his way into the match? He didn't say anything. He said one line of El Grande Americano being not being a real luchador, and that was directed to El Grande Americano. That wasn't directed to Scrap Daddy. He wasn't insulting Scrap Daddy Adam Pierce. So, that wasn't that wasn't him with one line talking himself into a title defense. Like, Dom has talked his way into title matches, like, he would talk so much shit, and then Adam Pierce would be like, okay, yeah, you're in a match. And then that's when you would do it. And that's something where it shows Dom's agency. Like, he got himself into trouble. He got himself into the match. Here, it's Liv doing it. And my notes. Like it's right now, it's just Liv talking for him, Liv steering situation, Liv is centered in all of the Judgment Day drama. So so it's just like Dom and went from one controlling aspect to another, and that's why I keep saying that Dom going solo wouldn't necessarily solve all this. The only one reason why I kind of advocate for Dom Rocks is just because you can restructure the relationship where Dom has more agency and more dominance, and then once that gets established for Dom, then you can set it up where Dom is more dominant, and then he can cut his ties and go solo. Like his character needs to like get that big shift before he can go solo. Right now, if he goes solo, he's not. I don't think he's set up properly for that because there's a lot of people who just look at Carmelo Hayes right now. How long did he disappear? He's still Ilya. We haven't even seen, and he's pretty. And I would consider him a pretty much a solo character that's pretty strong character wise, but been gone for a while now. And yeah, I did mention the Rhea thing. So since already talked about Liv and Rhea, I'm gonna go into why this still doesn't feel like Finn versus Dom. But back to YouTube comments. Um, Gwendolyn says, "Yeah, but the funny thing is that she says stuff like that, but her song is gone, as it has been heard in 28 days, which means they know it's hurting her aura since they won't stick to it." Yeah, they went back to generic Judgment Day, and I hate that song now. I thought it was okay at first, but then now I was like, you know what, I don't like it. Like, like when you go back to the original that new Judgment Day song, like they could be playing like Raquel's song. Like I think Raquel and Roxanne's songs right now are better than like this Judgment Day song that they play. They could just be playing Raquel's song. And by the way, y'all, who was that pointed out Liv's branding on? I mean, I pointed it out too, but what happened?
Mission failed.
Uh oh.
Oh,
Um, what was it that Liv's imagery, her eye symbol, is on like the Judgment Day stuff when Raquel and Roxanne come out? They can't even have Roxanne can't have her symbol, and Raquel can't have her symbol. I think that was you, Gwendolyn, that mentioned that. But you got that going, but then you won't let Raquel have her song. You won't have Roxanne have her song. But you're right about that because you would think they would be playing that song at least once now. but they haven't. And Gwendolyn says Finn also smiled at Dom. It really feels like something is going on between Finn and Liv. It feels like they're setting it to him up totally, and he's unaware. Like they can be, but I'm really thinking like it could be one of those things where they're setting it up from the inside out, which is why Liv won't attack. But maybe whatever this secret is that comes out blows the lid off things. Khalid said Liv did not hype Dom for his match, but JD backstage. Yeah, like she was gone. Like she set the match up and then she was gone, but it was JD that was hyping Dom up and then he got taken out. Sierra said, Sierra said, did Dom did the same thing with Finn and JD last year, forced to defend the titles against AJ. Yeah, like he gets forced into this switch, but Dom has usually talks himself into the situation. Finn exited on too, but it was more like Dom talks. Dom had a little bit more agency than what he did with Liv this past Monday. 850 Big Boy said um I had the same thought as well that promo Monday Liv was just being very suspicious. Like makes you wonder what was said beforehand. Like which portion, like walking up to Scrap Daddy or the international interview 850 Big Boy. Um, Gwendolyn says also listen to the lyrics to the thing. I'm your bad advice. That really feels intentional given the circumstances. Yeah, and Gwendolyn said, I said that if it says Judgment Day, but it's all Liv's logo on the all the corners. Yeah. Be right over there somewhere. So yeah, so either Dom's gonna get caught unaware, or we're gonna get a secret. I still think there's a secret somewhere, and I don't really think it's a Finn and Liv one because I don't think that's not the most impactful with them. Now I can see it where they work it where it's just they maintain a friendship, but I think the more impactful thing would be with regarding Dom because I think Dom needs his heat. Okay, so why this still doesn't feel like Finn versus Dom? Let's talk about Finn and Dom now, since I'm talking about Finn, because I know people keep saying this is Finn versus Dom, but here's the problem: Finn prevented JD from helping Dom. That happened, but Finn did not attack Dom after the match. Finn did not cut the same big promo on Dom. Dom did not respond like Finn is now his main enemy. Dom is not on social media pushing Finn as the person he's focused on. So I have to ask, is this Finn versus Dom, or is this Finn poking JD while Dom happens to be nearby? Because those are not the same thing. If Finn was truly feuding with Dom, I would expect Finn to be targeting Dom directly, like an attack after the match. Like, where was that? That would have been the easiest way to establish a feud. I would also expect Finn to cost something Dom more meaningful. Like if Finn had cost Dom the championship, I would expect Dom to be angry. I would expect Dom to talk. I would expect Dom to make Finn a problem, but that's not what we have right now. We have Finn being messy around everybody. We've got Finn like posting memes about JD being a bobblehead, and JD being caught in the middle. And we also still have Dom without a focused feud. And with all this, he got discourse. Like we got social media discourse for Dom for one day, and then that discourse barely lasted. Yes, we got the El Grande Americana match, which feels like a here damn match. Now that I think about it, it just feels like discourse spun up about Dom not having wins and not really having a feud, and they just went, okay, here damn, he has to make a championship. Go have him get this match, and just like here they are. And that was just because everybody was starting to talk about Dom's match, Dom not having matches and things like that. Like, okay, people are noticing he hasn't won. People are noticing the booking. People are complaining. So let's just give Dom something. Um, but a match is not automatically a feud, and a title defense is not automatically a story. And Finn interfering around Dom is not automatically making it Finn versus Dom. They need to do more. Because right now, if Finn is feuding with anybody emotionally, it may be JD. JD has been the one getting the direct energy. JD is the one Finn has been laughing at, and JD is the one Finn prevented from helping. So maybe the actual feud people think Dom has is the feud JD is getting. And that's a problem if Dom is supposed to be the center. And Gwendolyn said, "Yeah, I feel like Dom needs to reveal he was behind Finn and Leia's removal. I feel like it helps everyone. Uh, Rox and Raquel feel like individuals again, and Dom does as well. Yeah, I think it just does more for Dom, Raquel, and Roxanne if Liv is the one that gets pushed out, because Liv just revealing that she's done all this stuff doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't do that much. I mean, yeah. I mean, you finally get your revenge on stuff, but it kind of goes over like, okay, you just did all this for that. So, I do think it needs to be done. Like, he needs to get his heat back. Okay. And that's that whole agency thing, because who has the agency? Finn is moving around JD, Liv is moving something, Dom doesn't have his agency, which is a big problem. He doesn't have the clear mission. He doesn't have the clear feud. He's just there, which I think it could be by design. Like, where if he doesn't have, he's set up in such a way where whatever does happen, that's what makes it. That's when he starts to have the agency. But all right, so all right, back to start. And I'll get into the discourse with this Liv and Dom on that. So. Okay. Alright, so I can't save here, so let's go down here.
What's all the racket for, Raina?
Sir, come to my house quick! There's no time to waste!
Now just what is going on here, young lady?
The hero! He's finally appeared!
What?
It's true! He has the Sword of Light and everything!
The Sword of Light?
His clothes are foreign looking too. There's no doubt about it. He's the hero from the legend.
My goodness. Tell me, Reyna, where did you find him?
In the sacred forest. He saved me from a monster using the Sword of Light. And right now he's resting in my house. I'm telling you the truth. What's more, he said he's on a journey, but didn't have any idea where he was. He claims to be from somewhere, but I've never even heard of the place. Don't you think this is more than a coincidence?
Indeed. It is something worth looking into. Reyna, I know as well as anybody that you are not the kind of girl to make up stories either.
Thank you, Mayor.
So let's get to the bottom of this. First things first, let's see what he has to say.
Great! Mom, I'm back!
Reyna, oh, no, 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 no.
What's wrong, Mom? Why are you panicking like that?
No, it's just that I've...
Calm down, Mom. Tell me what's wrong.
I said it.
Said what?
I said the H word.
What? You told him that? So what did he say?
I don't think he understood what I meant.
Please be calm, everyone. It's all right. He doesn't understand what this is all about either.
Oh, Mr. Kenny.
Let's see. 850 Big Boy says, I meant it's possible that Liv was forcing Dom to confront Adam, get Dom in a match last Monday, and Liv took it in her own power to make it happen, but she ended up putting Dom into the worst situation. Yeah, it's a Rhea situation again.
This must be Claude C. Kenny then, yes? Allow me to say, I'm honored to make your acquaintance. My name is Regis, and I humbly serve this village as its mayor.
Good to meet you, sir.
Allow me to thank you profusely for saving our dear Reyna's life in the sacred forest.
Oh, not at all, sir.
Speaking of which, Reyna has told me that you are, at present, in the midst of a journey.
Oh, well, it's hardly worth calling a journey, really.
So tell me, where is your destination? The Kingdom of Cross? Or perhaps the continent of Liqueur?
Well,
A curious traveler indeed. Not only do you not know where you are, but where you are going is also yet unknown.
what are you trying to say, sir?
Mr. Kenny, If you will forgive my rudeness for a moment, I do believe everything you have told us has been a lie. You are far from an ordinary traveler.
If I'm not a traveler, then what am I?
A visitor from another world. A hero of legend, hidden under the guise of a traveler. In fact, even you will agree that you are the hero of light who has come to fulfill his duty as our savior. Am I wrong?
Sheesh.
What?
Yeah,
Listen, what would possibly make you think that
If it's proof you need, then let me share with you a glimpse of our world. It has been told in our history that when the people of Expel are suffering under the threat of impending doom, a hero will appear in garbs of foreign make, and with his sword of light, he will save us all.
Oh, so a lightsaber then.
Your clothes are nothing like what we have, and you carry the sword of light. What more proof do we need?
what are you... I don't have any sword of light.
Of course you do! You used a blinding light to save me earlier.
That?
Maybe he really isn't the one.
He's got to be.
I think I know why you're all confused. This weapon of mine, it's not a sword of light, although I'll admit that it's something like one, but still, carrying this around doesn't make me any kind of special hero. There's gotta be some kind of mistake.
How can you say that?
Well, I mean, I'm not a hero. I don't have any kind of power like that. I don't even have any idea what's going on here. How can you expect me to save anyone at all?
You truly have no idea? You really don't know anything about the sorcery globe or the cataclysms?
Gwendolyn says something's got to happen. I know that because right now everyone is stuck, and it's just been Liv can't get heat, Dom is stuck, Raquel and Roxanne is stuck. It sucks. Yeah, I mean, with the whole thing is like Liv is just getting everything. You know, she's gotten the title, she's running around, she's got all this, she's talking for everybody. Nobody else can get a word in edgewise unless she allows them to talk. Like, it's just like at some point it's just something's gotta give.
We're not talking about something that happens in the village here. We're talking about the cataclysms that have affected the entire world. It seems that you do not really know what we are talking about. Please allow me to explain. It all began 3 months ago. On another continent, northwest of this village, there is a kingdom by the name of El. One fateful day, a meteor crashed upon Aluria, a town located within El's territory. At first, people saw it as merely a rare and remarkable celestial event. But before long, a cataclysm took place. Great hordes of monsters suddenly appeared in the once peaceful nation, and the havoc they spread devastated the kingdom of El. There has never been anything like this before in our world. Not until the arrival of that meteor. It only stands to reason that the two events are related to each other. The meteor came to be called the Sorcery Globe, a stone of pure demonic evil. No matter how you look at it, that stone must be the reason for the disasters that have befallen the world. And now, just as the sorcery globe fell upon our heads one day, so you have also appeared out of thin air. If that stone is the source of the chaos, then we believe that only you can cut through the chaos and save us.
But I'm just
The cataclysms are still ongoing as we speak. Strings of earthquakes like nothing recorded before. Docile animals turning into fearsome monsters. It will not be long before disaster befalls this humble village, too.
But I'm not anyone special like your story said. How am I supposed to deal with some kind of magic meteorite?
If you are not, then where did you come from? And where are you going?
I don't know how to explain it, and even if I did, you wouldn't understand it. The only thing I can tell you is that I'm here because of an accident, and not because I wanted to be here. I just want to go back to where I came from. That's all.
You must have your reasons, but you must let us know more before we can make sense of this.
I know, but that's all I can tell you.
Very well. If you insist on it, then I am sure there is at least some truth to it. We will have to accept that you are not the hero of light after all.
How can this be?
I'm sorry. This is probably not what you all wanted to hear.
No.
Not at all. It is our own fault forcing you to be someone you are not in the first place.
I'm sorry about this.
Raina! I don't believe this. He has to be the one. Those clothes, and that sword of light.
Okay, so let's see. Gwendolyn says, and you also have Finn, who's just stuck getting beat up all the time. But no allies, that's another signal. Liv may be his ally later. You don't keep him on an island like that for nothing. Yeah, see, if Uncle AJ hadn't retired, then you could actually see, like, him go Bullet Club on him. But we don't have that. We don't even have the good brother. So we have to see. Yeah, why is Finn by himself? Like, if Judgment Day could actually use like new members, and then we have Finn by himself. So like, and then Finn is just beating up everybody. At least it's not to the case where Finn is just taking win after win after win like Damien was, so thank goodness for small miracles. Okay, so let me go back over here to TikTok. Let's see. Khalif says, I always been Finn and Liv working together since 2022, taking the group down from within. You would think, I mean, that'll be a heck of a callback if they actually do it. I mean, it's possible. So, let's get into the online discourse, which is Liv versus Dom. Now, let's talk about the whole online discourse because this week was very interesting, at least this past week. Dom could not even get one full week of people talking about his poor booking without Liv discourse taking over the room. On Monday, people were talking about Dom. They were talking about him not winning. They were talking about whether his title reign had direction. They were talking about whether WWE was wasting him. Then that discourse finally started to happen. And we've been talking about that for the past few months. Like, we've been talking about how poorly Dom's been booked. And then almost immediately, here comes the Liv discourse. People started talking about how Liv has no challengers for her title. People started talking about whether Dom is taking over the women's storyline, even if you actually watch the show, it's the opposite. The women's storyline is taking over him. People started talking about Liv's reign is about to be a repeat of 2024. And then by Friday, rumors of Stephanie Vaquer returning started to calm that discourse down. So Liv's issue got a possible answer. Dom's issue did not, and that's the difference. Liv's booking problem with her challengers got a potential solution by Friday. Dom's booking problem got a match and then silence, and we still don't know what he's going to do after this. And that's why I do not like when people act like Dom is somehow stealing from Liv's story, because from where I'm sitting, Dom can barely get his own story centered for more than 24 hours, and people just talking about it. Like, we finally got the major wrestling sites talking about it, and then everything just shifted to, well, Liv doesn't have a challenger. You know, even though she's running around doing everything with Judgment Day, it's like everything shifted where talking about Liv not having a challenger. Dom gets pulled into this order. He gets pulled into Judgment Day drama. He gets pulled into Finn's mess. But the second people start talking about his booking, the conversation shifts somewhere else. And that's annoying. And to be clear, this is not me talking about Liv does not need challengers. She should. That's the point. Liv's story needs direction too. She should have challengers. But I think it's very telling that Liv's issue seems much easier for the WWE to solve quickly. And like, bring back Stephanie, set up a challenger, use a tag team title match, create tension with Raquel and Roxanne. Liv has options. Dom still has no feud, and that's the point. And speaking of Dom, we're going to talk about why he's being quiet on social. Now, this is a theory. I want that to be clear. This is not me saying this is definitely happening. But I do think Dom is being quieter on social media could matter because we all know how quickly Dom used to respond to Liv. That was part of the Liv Dom rhythm. Liv would post, Dom would respond, and would screenshot it. Like, he would repost to the second, if you remember 2024. But lately, that rhythm has changed. Dom has been quieter. He has not been feeding the expectation the same way, and that might matter because the WWE is gearing up for if the WWE is gearing up for a major change with Dom. One thing they might need to do is reset fans' expectations. If people are trained to expect Dom to immediately respond to Liv or like see when he reposts, then the lack of response becomes very obvious. Like right now he's really quiet, and we're noticing that. But if Dom slowly stops doing all that, then by the time the actual story turn happens, the audience has already been eased into the distance. Like, he won't have to respond like he used to. And that's how you soften the landing. That's how you change the pattern before the big change happens. That's why I'm saying this might be intentional on how quiet he's been. Like, he hasn't been responding to Liv. He hasn't been doing a lot on social media. So Dom going quiet may not mean nothing is happening. It might mean the opposite. It might mean they're creating space for Dom, and that space lines up with how Liv Dom has been presented lately. It's less immediate, less mutual, less balanced, and there's a lot more distance. More moments where Liv is moving and Dom is reacting. And let me see. Should I go over this tag? How the tag has been spoiled? Let's see. see. Not listening on TikTok just yet. So, Gwendolyn says the bad thing is Clash in Italy is a horrible place to force Liv heel, and it's going to backfire on the WWE because she's part Italian. Like, yeah, like she's already got like her own like single like poster now. Like they're kind of leaning into it, like alongside like Cody Rhodes. So, um, like you said, you're getting all this face storm, and then you notice how Dom has kind of been not even on the posters anymore. Like, you see how fast that drop off has been? Like, we used to get Dom, like, it wouldn't be so bad if Dom was, like, on the posters with Liv, but now he's not. Like, it's just been Liv. Like, Liv singularly. Along with Rhea singularly. Stephanie was still on there. Um, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Now Dom has dropped off. Like, he can't be on a poster now. And now we know he's going to be on the European tour because that was announced. Like, he's going to go up against Penta, but, he's just going to be going up against Penta for the IC title, and that's nothing new there. But let me go on and talk about this. So let's talk about the women's tag team title match. That's going to be Roxanne and Raquel versus Brie, Bella, and Paige. This is the big thing going into Raw for the Judgment Day. Nothing else was announced, and I'm hearing all the crying about Liv not being announced as the women's world champion, even though she was announced alongside him. But I digress. So we have that announcement. We were announced on that on Monday. And then on SmackDown this past Friday, Lash Legend and Nia Jax said that they were going to be challenging Brie and Paige for the titles at Saturday Night Main Event. Now, this has not been made totally official, but I think they made an out for it. Like, they're saying, like, this is pending whatever happens on Raw. But they kind of put it forward, like, they were saying like, well, we don't want Judgment Day, we want you. Like, why is Last Legend and Last Legend and Nia Jax getting another match when they already had their big match, and why is it at Saturday Night Main Event? You see what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any kind of sense. So, and they were trying to make it like, oh, well, we don't want Judgment Day. Like, yeah, like, I think you kind of spoiled it, but I don't even know why they're going back to the well anyway, but I digress on that again. So when they did that, people went, wait, like, if Lash and Nia are challenging Brie and Paige at Saturday Night Main Event, then are Raquel and Roxanne losing on Raw? Because why would Lash and Nia already be talking about Brie and Paige if our titles are changing hands? Now, wrestling can always swerve, and they do swerve. It may not, maybe they're just, setting up people's expectations to not have a title change, and it happens. Like, they can do that. Plans can shift, there's always could be shenanigans, but on the surface, this makes it look like Raquel and Roxanne are not winning the tag titles. And we combine that with the rumors that Stephanie Vaquer is returning soon, the chances of Raquel and Roxanne winning feel reduced. Because now you have multiple things pointing away from a clean title change. You have Lash and Nia already positioned for Saturday Night Main Event. You have Stephanie possible returning. You have Liv needing a challenger, and you have tension possible inside the Judgment Day. So the tag team title match may not be about Raquel and Roxanne winning. It may be about what's happening when they lose, and that's actually more interesting to me because if they do lose, then what we get to ask is who gets blamed. Does Raquel blame Roxanne? Does Roxanne blame Raquel? Do they blame Liv? Does Liv fail to help? Does Dom try to help? Does Finn ruin everything? Does Stephanie return and cost them? There's a lot of possibilities here, and I'm going to get into all those possibilities because there's like around 10 possibilities on what can happen. Lone Rebel says, also, writer, did you know how Liv Morgan wore that gear she wore at SummerSlam when she kissed Dom when Liv faced Rhea at SummerSlam that year? Liv 24 is in the game as a persona card with that gear. Did they do that? I don't really pay attention to the game. I didn't know that they were using her gear in like the 2K26 like commercial. So I actually like that gear. It's really cute. here. Cleve says, "Why does everybody want Liv and Dom as mixed tag champs when there's no spark anymore?" That's just them people wanting the Liv the they want mixed tag because that keeps them as a couple. But I think has that storyline has passed. I have talked about that on that Night Gonna Lie. Like they have had many opportunities to do any kind of mixed tag. They were trying to say like AJ Lee and CM Punk, which makes no sense because that should be Dom and Roxanne and CM Punk because those are the four people that actually have the history. Like Liv does not have that same history with CM Punk and AJ Lee like Roxanne has, and Dom has the history with CM Punk. Like that makes the most sense if you're going to do a mixed tag. That makes the most sense. Dom and Roxanne and versus CM Punk and AJ Lee. So, but they always say, well, you can get the mixed tags from Lola and Mr. Iguana. And first of all, Mr. Iguana and Lola have way more chemistry than Liv Dom right now. And that mixed tag should be for against other people that needs the title. Like, they're not doing anything. And, like, why would you want Dom to take a step down? Because he's mega champion of AAA. Like, why would you want Dom to go a step down into the mixed tag title? Just so Liv can have a next title, and so she could be a double champion. See what I mean? It just feels really self-serving. Like Dom has already been a mega champ. He's the mega champ. He doesn't need to be in the. If he hadn't won the mega championship, then yeah, you can see that. But right now, no. And there's like other people. It's like how people wanted. I was saying like maybe Liv can do Rena the Renas, but she's already the women's champion, so there's no reason for that. Like Raquel could be really winning with that, and if they do anything with La Catalina, then maybe they can do something with there. And that could be such a funny recruit of trying to recruit La Catalina into Judgment Day, because there is that little bit more bit with Dom. Like anybody he tries to recruit into Judgment Day, if somebody objects to it, they're the ones out. See, Damian, Rhea, and Finn. Like Finn objected to El Grande Americano and he's out. Damian and Rhea objected to Andrade and Santos and Carlito, and they were out. Yeah. So, you got that little war bit with Dom. So I'm just seeing if somebody, like, he tries to recruit somebody and somebody gets upset about it, because that usually means you're on the way out. But, like, Dom has already been mega champion. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need that. And, like, it's like how Liv has had ample opportunities to show up in AAA, and she done it. Like, there's no reason for her to pop up right now. Like, why would she pop up now? Like, Dom is almost about to finish up his stuff. Like, after El Grande does this Mascara match with El Grande Americano Original, then it's going to be El Grande Americano versus Dom. And Dom probably is going to lose it there, and then he's probably going to be out of AAA for at least a little bit, because he's not doing anything now. So why would he still be around in AAA just to do any kind of mixed tag with Liv? I mean, El Grande Americano and Andrea has a much better love story going on right now too in AAA. So I mean, Liv Dom is winding down and pretty much on his way out. So why would you keep that? So to me, them people just wanting this mixed tag just means that they just want the couple to go on. It's not for any reason. Like, you could do, like, Dom has more mixed tag team matches with Raquel and Roxanne than Liv. Maybe they want to get, either that up. I don't know. Lone Rebel says, I feel like Liv is going to get blamed by Jordan and Raquel, while Dom and JD help Raquel while Liv is fighting Stephanie during the match. Like, that's a possibility too. Jacob says if they want to keep the mega title on Dom for business reasons. Well, the business right now is that people in Mexico love El Grande Americano. They love Andrade. They're going to put that title on him. Like, he, has the crowd in the palm of his hand. He blew up in Mexico. Undertaker would be a fool not to put the mega championship on El Grande Americano this year. and that's probably going to be in the summertime, and that's when Dom is phased out of AAA for this immediate reason, like for the immediate future. But right now, Dom brought eyes to AAA, and now they set up somebody to carry the AAA brand without Dom, and that's El Grande Americano. Um, Gwendolyn said, Liv Dom has ran its course. Once Liv started getting cheers and Dom got booed just for existing around her in January, February, that was it. That was writing on the wall for the WWE. Yeah, like, they phased it out. Like, I've always said, there's a 2-year benchmark for kayfabe couples in the WWE. Like, if you're not married real world, then it's a 2-year benchmark. And it doesn't matter if there's a lot of stuff left on the table. Rhea and Dom had a lot of meat, even more meat than Liv and Dom left on the table, and they broke them up. That was a 2-year, and Rhea had an injury a lot of for that last part of 2024. Same thing with Liv and Dom. Liv got injured. Just they won't add the injury time just because Liv was injured. It's a 2-year mark, and it's just wound down. Like, nothing is really cute about the couple anymore. You don't see. You're not seeing anything about the couple. Like, it's not being cute. They're not helping each other out. Like, Liv isn't even coming out to Dom's matches. Now, Dom isn't come out too, but at least if you're going to be setting up things for Dom, and, you're supposed to be ride or die and all that stuff, like, she hasn't shown up. She hasn't shown up to help Dom win a match. Like, that's what I expect of the girlfriend. Like, if you're supposed to be the girlfriend, then why aren't you out there? So, we haven't gotten that. Like, what I see right now is that Liv and Dom fans are using stuff that past stuff with Liv Dom, and that's what Rhea and Dom fans used to do in 2024. Like, they used to just regurgitate a lot of stuff of things that happened with Rhea and Dom in the past. That's what Liv and Dom fans are doing right now, because there's nothing being put out. They're trying to show us like fan cams of stuff that Dom and Liv used to do, and yeah, you can do that off camera, but unless it's on camera with the WWE, that they put it on TV, they put it on official social media, it doesn't count. Like, people like to tell me when Roxanne was hitting a pop rocks on CM Punk. They used to gleefully tell me, "Oh, that doesn't count that she hit a pop rocks on CM Punk. That was just a live tour." Lo and behold, she hits a pop rocks on Cena at Survivor Series. You see what I mean? So, fan cams of Liv and Dom being cute don't matter because it's not on TV. Like, there's a lot of cute stuff that you can see on TV. There's a lot of hilarious stuff you can see off camera. If it doesn't get on TV, it don't count. Lone Rebel says, which we all know the original El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable, is obviously losing his mask in the mask versus mask match against the other El Grande Americano, aka with Kaiser. Yeah, like, we know Chad is gonna lose that match. Like, there's no point to the mask Ludwig. Chad's gonna lose a match, and you're gonna have probably Chad Gable set up some kind of way. Maybe he stays down there just to antagonize El Grande Americano for a little bit with the Creed brothers, and then that's it. But let me play a little bit more, and then I'm going to start winding this down because I have been running my mouse. So, okay, so let's go back here. Apparently Rena is a little bit upset about Claude not being here late. Let's see. Let's see. let me get to this major point, because I know there's a major point coming up, if I remember correctly. Okay, before I do anything, this needs to save. Okay. Alright, let's go down here. Go down here. We have women. Okay. Let's go fight a monster, shall we? Quinlan says, yeah, you can't stretch it to SummerSlam, in my opinion. You do Liv versus Raquel there. Either turn Liv in Italy or very soon afterward. There's not enough gas left for a slow burn anymore. Fancy she's left out. Yeah.
We better be careful.
Cleve says, does Liv know what Dom is keeping away from her? I mean, maybe. I mean, she might hint, but she might know something's up, but maybe not the full story. That's what I'm saying. Like the secret might be the bombshell. Like imagine something like in Clash in Italy, like when we get something like GTV or NXT Anonymous show something on the screen or something like that. Good grief! You know, let me fight. I didn't. Okay, maybe I should have paid attention to the thing.
That was an easy win. Ooh, great!
I should actually look at the controls next time. Okay.
We better be careful. Heal! Yeah! Weaker than I thought. Ooh, great!
Oh, cool. Antidote. Okay. Alright, so we did that. Alright, let's go.
You ready for this? It's all over. You ready for this? Weaker than I thought.
Okay, let's go look over here. We'll go over here. Ooh, treasure box. Let's see. Nice. Okay. I think I got air. Let's go over here.
What am I trying to accomplish here? Father, what am I supposed to do? Father.
What am I supposed to do?
Please, keep your voice down. We wouldn't want Reyna to hear us.
That girl's passed out on her bed, now that she's finally had enough of crying for her dead father.
I am sure this is just as much a shock for you as it is for her. But you are her mother. You need to stay calm for her sake.
Stay calm? How am I supposed to stay calm? My husband is dead.
Wester.
Without him, what am I going to do? I still haven't told her yet. Now that he's gone, I'll have to tell her all by myself. Can you imagine having to tell your daughter that she's not your real child? I knew I should have thrown away that damn pendant. Why didn't I get rid of the last connection to her real parents? She would have been mine, my real daughter.
So who am I then?
Reyna.
Mr. Kenny.
Morning.
Good morning.
What's wrong? You look tired.
Huh? Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. I didn't mean to cause a scene like that.
It's all right. I mean, I know I must look really out of place to you all. Now that I know the whole story, it's pretty easy to see how everyone came to that conclusion.
Let's see. Cleve says, how did we not get a clubhouse segment on Monday? I kind of hope they restructured the clubhouse, actually.
I grew up listening to tales about the hero, you know. They talked about how the hero would appear in our time of greatest need and save our way of life. And, I mean, a lot of people are desperately in need right now, aren't they? All around the world. Having you show up just like the stories at a time like this, I just thought you had to be the one.
That makes sense.
I mean, I wasn't sure, but I was pretty sure.
But yeah, Gwendolyn, I'm agreeing with you with saying that I don't think this can stretch to
Well,
SummerSlam.
I'm sorry I couldn't
I would
be
be
the hero you
surprised if it
wanted.
isn't, but something needs
I
to
didn't
go.
mean that, Mr. Kenny. It's not your fault. I'm the one to blame for being so easily taken in by the stories of the hero.
I still want to apologize, though. I really wish there's something I could do.
You don't have to worry about it. I hope you can get back to your home soon. I'm sorry, but would it be alright if I stayed here alone for a little while?
Well, okay. I hope you feel better. See you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kenny. I better get back home. Wouldn't want my mother worrying about me.
blueberries. Alright, here you go. Wait some more. Get another level.
You ready for this? Ah! Ha! It's all over.
Okay, one more.
This looks a little rough. Tuh! Ha! Tuh! Yeah! Huh! I can't move.
Oh, wow. Well, got it wiped out. That'll teach you to heal, Ryder Maven.
I'm not gonna lose. Crush!
Just a wow. Okay, maybe I shouldn't fight that dude. Okay. I'm gonna escape. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Be careful!
Alright. Run. I know there's an escape. Okay. I know, just let me escape, dude.
I can't move.
Okay. I don't know what. Okay. Yes, yes. Put back on the screen. Maybe I do need some equipment. Let's see. Oh, interlude. Okay. Okay. Let's improve that crush. But I'm gonna stop it here. Because I need to get talking about something else. Oop. Alright. Alright, so Gwendolyn says, I always thought putting Liv in the group was a dumb decision anyway, just for the fact that he can't get heat long term, which in turn hurts the group and makes them into a joke pretty much. Yeah, I mean, she did do well as a heel, I thought. I think it's just that at this point she's been made to be much bigger than the group. And that's what's hurting them. Like, nobody else gets to get the momentum that she has. So, so okay, let's go here. If Liv doesn't help, so this going back to Monday Night Raw, this coming up, like if Liv doesn't help, the clock starts. So the biggest things I want to watch, this is one of the biggest things I want to watch too on Raw. If Liv does not help Raquel and Roxanne, the clock starts because Raquel and Roxanne helped Liv. They were there for her. They helped her at WrestleMania. They supported her. They have been a part of her orbit. So if Liv can't return the favor when they have a title match, that matters. Especially because Liv's whole thing has been loyalty, control, and having people around her. But what happens when those people need something from her? Does Liv show up? Or does Liv only like allies when they're useful to her? Because if Liv costs them, the clock starts. If Liv makes a mistake, the clock starts. If Liv freezes, the clock starts. If Liv does nothing, the clock starts. And honestly, that might be the best story outcome because it creates tension without needing an immediate breakup. It gives Raquel a reason to question Liv. It gives Roxanne a question to question Liv. It gives Dom a chance to act independently. And it gives Liv consequences for treating people like accessories. Um, Liv's problem isn't that she has no allies, it's just that she treats allies like accessories until they stop being useful. So, following that, so what happens if Dom helps when Liv doesn't? Now, this is probably my possible favorite scenario. Like, I don't want Dom really involved with women's storylines, but people are gonna bitch regardless. So, might as well do it and do something that he's done before. He's done this before. It's not out of his wheelhouse, so it's not. It won't be out of the norm for him to do this. So, what if Liv does not help Raquel or Roxanne, but Dom does? This is interesting because it's not just about the titles. It becomes about just character alignment inside the Judgment Day. Imagine this: Raquel and Roxanne are in trouble. Liv hesitates. Liv is distracted. Liv is focused on Stephanie. Whatever. Liv fails to act, and then Dom comes out and tries to help. Maybe he succeeds. Maybe he does not. Maybe Finn cuts him off. Maybe he hands Roxanne the timekeeper's hammer again. Remember that little bit? Maybe he does something like that to reestablish that little thread. Maybe Roxanne gets the timekeeper's hammer. Maybe he helps Raquel and Roxanne win. Maybe he almost helps her win, but something goes wrong. That could create so many different reactions. Roxanne could see that Dom helped when Liv did not. Raquel would see that Liv failed to protect the team. Liv would see Dom acting without her, and Finn will see another opening to exploit. And Dom will finally be doing something instead of being pulled around by everyone else. Um, which is kind of like why I like this. It gives Dom agency and it sets him up as the leader. Like, even though he's not declaring himself the leader, he puts himself out there to get titles into the Judgment Day. So he's going to get out there and he's going to try and help. It lets him move the story. It creates tension with Liv without making it an immediate breakup, and it keeps the Roxanne's loyalty question alive, pretty much. Like, does she go Liv, Dom, whatever? And it gives Judgment Day something to actually argue about if Liv fails and they fail because Liv didn't do anything. Now, let's go back to the Timekeeper's Hammer. Remember I mentioned that? Because if Dom shows up on Raw, the WWE has a very easy visual callback available to them, which is the Timekeeper's Hammer. And somebody did ask me about that, like, how did you know why is that Dom's hammer? And I'm like, it's not really Dom's hammer, it's just that he's made that a part of his character. It's kind of like with the purple bandana. It's like something along with his aesthetic and character work. That's something that he does. So, we've already had this thread with Roxanne and the hammer. We already had Roxanne hitting Finn with the hammer. We've already had people arguing about what that meant. If the WWE wants to remind us that Dom and Roxanne still have some sort of thread together, the hammer is the cleanest way to do it. Have Dom hand Roxanne the hammer. That's all they need to do. No big speech, no complicated explanation, just the visual. Because wrestling is a visual medium. And sometimes one repeated object tells you more than a promo. If Dom hands Roxanne the timekeeper's hammer again, that tells us the WWE wants us to remember that connection. It tells us the moment was not random. It tells us that Dom and Roxanne's thread is still alive. And it also makes Finn look even more wrong if he thought Roxanne was going to be his pawn. Because Roxanne hitting Finn with that hammer was already a pretty definitive action. And like I said before, if Roxanne needed to pivot, she could have tripped or Finn or distracted him. She didn't need to hit him full on with the hammer. So that was her choice on her behalf. So if the hammer comes back, pay attention. And there's a Roxanne loyalty test because, like I said in my previous video, why did Roxanne join? We never got an explanation for that. We know why Finn wanted Roxanne to join, but why did Roxanne join? What was promised to her? But I talked about that in 2 videos, but the gist of it is that we might have a Dom and Roxanne connection back from NXT. We might have it where Roxanne is still crushing on Dom and she chose Judgment Day because she's crushing on him. Or she wanted to be in proximity. And maybe Finn may or may not have known this. Like, maybe Finn didn't know that Roxanne had wanted to have this proximity to Dom, and he got used, and then he's on his way out, and now he's out of the Judgment Day now. So that's that thread. So it might be some hidden agendas here. Like, we might get that, that might be the secret. Why did Roxanne join? Oh, I wanted to be close to Dom. Because she has, she's pretty much stars in her eyes. She hasn't talked down about Dom. She pretty much talked up Dom. And then she didn't, put him on a pedestal either. She has a really unique relationship to Dom compared to a lot of the other women that been around Dom. Like, either they want to attack him or they want to do something else. But Roxanne has been really unique in her support. So far, she has not been moving like Rhea or Liv in relation to Dom, and that might be important because who does Roxanne blame if they lose? Like, does she blame a Dom? Does she blame Liv? Like, what happens? And then we have to also remember that Roxanne called herself a mastermind in that social media post because Dom has called himself a mastermind too. So that's that callback. So that's another thread there. So there's a lot of different things here going on. Also, coming back from the other video, I'm referring to that other video because I just explained a lot in that previous video here on YouTube. It's just like, because what's the secret? Because we can't have Finn taunting Liv about secrets. Like, that's something that actually could be being spun up too. Like, this coming up Monday. Like, maybe Finn finally starts taunting Liv about speeches. Like, he doesn't really fully expose it, but maybe he hints at it. There's different things that can happen. And I do wish that we kind of get that going. Like, Liv did say no more secrets, so what better way to expose a secret than having your favorite demented demon named Finn Balor expose a secret? And let's see. Oop. Why does this thing keep timing me out over here? So there's that possibility. He could be planting doubt. He could be doing a lot of things running around there in his demented demon self. But let's kind of get into raw possibilities. I'm going to wrap this up. It's been a while and it's getting late. So let's go into the possibilities of what can happen on Monday Night Raw. First possibility, Raquel and Roxanne lose clean. This is the least interesting option unless there's a big character to beat after. If they simply lose and nothing changes, this just feels like filler. Like, losing straight up doesn't move anything. Doesn't move the needle. Possibility number two, Stephanie Vaquer returns and costs them. This makes sense if the WWE wants to move Liv into her next singles direction. Stephanie returning could immediately give Liv a challenger and explain why Raquel and Roxanne don't win. But I want this to create Judgment Day tension too, because if Stephanie returns and Liv is distracted, Raquel and Roxanne should have feelings about that. Um, Possibility number three, Liv cost Raquel and Roxanne the titles, and this would start the clock immediately, especially if Liv makes the mistake because she's focused on herself. Like she's, all about herself, and then she doesn't interfere or whatever, and it ends up costing Roxanne the titles. This would expose how one-sided the alliance is. Possibility number four, Liv fails to help. This may be even better than Liv directly costing them, because then Liv can deny responsibility. She can say, I didn't cost you. But Raquel and Roxanne can still say, you didn't help us. That creates tension without making it too obvious. Possibility number five. I told you there's a lot of possibilities that can go on. Dom comes out to help, but Finn stops him. This would finally start making Finn versus Dom feel more direct. If Finn is physically preventing Dom from helping, now we're getting closer. But the WWE would need to follow this up. Dom can't just shrug that off. So if Finn prevents Dom from helping, then we need a good follow-up on that. Possibility number six. Dom helps Raquel and Roxanne win the titles. And this is bold. This gives Dom agency. It gives Raquel and Roxanne a title win. It creates tension with Liv if Liv was not the one who made the difference. So say Liv, like I was saying earlier, say Liv, is maybe distracted about Stephanie, or she doesn't help, but then Dom comes out and helps. So that kind of shifts the alliance to Dom, because he came out there, he put his body on the line, and helped them get titles. And it gives Judgment Day something new to work with. Possibility number seven, we have a DQ or chaos ending where it's just shenanigans. This is very possible. They could do shenanigans and set up a triple threat at Saturday Night Main Event, or kind of like a schmoz at Saturday Night Main Event. Maybe it's like Paige and Brie versus Lash and Nia versus Raquel and Roxanne at Saturday Night Main Event. That could actually happen too. That could get around the spoiler issue while keeping everybody involved. So like everybody's just going to be facing each other at Saturday Night Main Event. Possibility number 8. Told you there's a lot of possibilities. Raquel and Roxanne win as a stopgap. This is possible if the WWE wants a surprise. Maybe Lash and Nia's challenge becomes outdated. Like maybe they're off the table, or Raquel and Roxanne go into Saturday Night Main Event as the champions. Maybe they challenge whoever wins on Monday. Maybe the WWE wants a short reign or a transitional title reign for the tag team champions. Like, they do this because they want to put a band-aid on it. Like, you want to put, like, a band-aid on the Judgment Day situation, so you have Raquel and Roxanne win the titles, and they get the titles off of Paige and Brie, and then maybe they can start arguing so Nikki can return, and they can have that feud or whatever. And then you kind of transition it where Roxanne and Raquel have titles, but it's not really the titles that they want, but you're going to deal with it because it brought gold to the Judgment Day. And then you can combine this with Dom helping them win or something like that. Maybe Liv still doesn't help. And then you can have maybe Liv still all about herself with Stephanie if she returns. But, you got Raquel and Roxanne holding it down with the tag titles because they got these titles and they're still more about Judgment Day than just individual self at this moment. So those are all the possibilities. Like I said, there's a lot of ways you can go. You can have Raquel and Roxanne lose straight up. They can win straight up. You can have Dom help. You can have Liv help. You can have Liv fail. You can have Liv not help. You can have Dom attempt to help and fail. You can have Finn come out there and cause shenanigans. So there's a lot of different ways. Stephanie can come out there. Lash and Nia could come out there. You could have all these. You can have Fatal Influence come out there. There's a lot of different ways this can go down. And then we haven't heard anything else about Dom, so that's the only thing that I could talk about at this moment. What Raw needs to do. So First, coming up, what Raw needs to happen on Raw, what I would like to happen first, Dom needs his real feud, no vibes, no discourse, no one match, a feud. Secondly, if this is Finn versus Dom, Finn needs to actually target Dom. No more Finn is near Dom, therefore it counts. Make it direct. Third, Liv needs consequences for speaking over people. If Liv is going to be acting like Rhea, then the story should start acknowledging that. Fourth, Roxanne needs clear motivation. Like, why did she join Judgment Day? What does she want? Why is she in the building? Things like that. That needs to start coming out. Fifth, Raquel needs to be more than Liv's muscle, because right now Raquel is really deep in lacking mode, and I don't like it, and I don't like that. So she needs to start. They need to start remembering that Raquel got eliminated. They need to remember that she was doing fellow on her own before Liv came back. So that needs to start getting addressed. Six, Stephanie returns. If it happens, it needs to cause a direction, not a prop, not a distraction, direction. Like, if you're going to be going into a Liv and Stephanie match into Clash of Italy, then gotta get it started. Seventh, the tag title match needs to change something. Even if the titles do not change hands, the relationship should, because if Raw ends and everyone is in the exact same place, what's the point? I wouldn't put it past Triple H, but there we are. And that's that. I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that can happen on Raw, and hopefully we do get something going. Clee said, do we get a clubhouse segment tomorrow? We probably will. We get something because they have a title. We have to see if the tag title match is the main event match. Now, we might have Roman Reigns talking at the end because, Lord forbid, we have something different. Or we have the Vision talking, like, Lord forbid, we get something different. But that might be the title. That might be the main event title match. We have to see. If it's the main event title match, then I think we will expect some kind of shenanigans going down. But other than that, I think we're going to end it tonight. Like I said, I am going to be back tomorrow reviewing Monday Night Raw. Please check out my 2 previous videos. I did the review and I did the secrets thing. Check that out. That explains a lot of that whole secrets scenario with Finn and Dom and Roxanne and what could all be happening. Things like that. I actually have a nice clue board in that video, or at least a little collage of all the clues, and when you see all the clues that I put in that video, like all in one place, like the bandana, the timekeeper's hammer, and Dom's aesthetics, like when you see it all in one place, it makes you think seriously. So go check that video out, and that's this preview video. So I am going to end this now. I thank y'all all for joining me. You guys are awesome. Why are people slamming my door? But I really appreciate you guys. And y'all have rocked. Y'all have been really helping me out on YouTube with views and things like that. And I really appreciate y'all. Like I said, I am going to be back on tomorrow. We're going to be talking that. Podcast goes to Spotify. YouTube video goes to YouTube. And we'll go from there. But until next time, I bid y'all all adieu. Thank y'all for joining me on TikTok and YouTube. I will talk to y'all guys later. See you guys tomorrow. And I'm going to just check something real quick. Before I go, Maisha says, if Roxanne does the same, if Dom does do the same move that the Dom move, like what, the timekeeper's hammer, Maisha? Jacob says, what if the tag title match happens on Raw? I mean, you can still get shenanigans there, too. Like, usually shenanigans happens the opening match or, like, the ending match. So, yeah, if Roxanne, that's what I'm looking for. What I really hope is that Roxanne does use the timekeeper's hammer, because that just keeps the thread going. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, it's more eventful, and we're not just setting ourselves up to. We're not setting ourselves up for disappointment. Cleve said, "Do we get more teasers tomorrow?" I hope so. We need the storyline advancement. Like I said, we need the storyline advancement. Like, something needs to give. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Until next time, bid you all